why. They're just the way her colors were and everything. But that little, hard to tell anyway. So I took her inside, and of course, she was crying a little bit. And I'm sure, she hadn't had anything to eat in a good while, and you can't give them human milk.
Right.
And so the next morning, I was early. I ex-in-laws in Casa Grande, they raised goats. So me and the dog jumped in the truck and we drove down there, and I asked him, I said, I got this little dog. You don't have to ask, we'll give it to you. So hell, they sent me home with 4 jugs of goat milk. Now, on the way home, I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to give this dog this goat milk? And the dog was like this, And so, well, I remembered my wife and I had a premature baby when we were younger. So that's about the only thing I could think of. So I went to CVS or Walgreens, one of them, and asked for a premature bottle, and they said sure. So they got me 2. I took her home. I fed her goat milk.
So you fed this puppy that you had from when you grabbed it out of the truck with goat milk until it was good enough to eat whatever.
So she was strong enough to
eat normal.
Little dogs, they kind of weeble and wobble a little bit, and she wasn't even taking a step or 2 steps, if that. And at 7 days, you don't expect them to do too much moving. So I just kept trucking her, and I remember with my daughter, we fed her like every 2 hours or something like that, because she had some health issues. And I did that for, I want to say 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, I made probably 3 or 4 trips to Casa Grande to get more milk, and she just kept growing and growing and growing, and she was getting heavier. And I had 2 turtles. They're about that big around, 2 little tiny turtles. And I didn't know what to do with them, so I stuck them in a 5-gallon bucket, filled it up with water, and she used to sit there and watch them. And she was okay with them until they stuck their eyes up out of the water, not their body, but their eyes. She'd reach in there and slap at them. But, and she's going to be 13 September. Yeah.
And so you were just walking down here and these 2 ladies pulled up?
Yeah, this has been, let's see, it's probably about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks tomorrow. And they were going to pick her up on Monday. They drove by me maybe on like a Friday or something. And it was right there, right before you cross this, Jefferson to the south side at 12th Avenue, because Cass is right, that's where we were staying now, I'm still there now. And so they pulled up beside me, and 2 of them, and kind of strange, but I listened to everybody, and she said, what can we do to help you and your dog? And I told her at first, I said, is this some kind of joke or a game or something? She says, no, we're dead serious. And she handed me a business card that said something about rescue and rehoming, and all that kind of stuff on there. And she said that she had a small medical facility there too. And that's where I was more interested in, because she got to the point where she didn't want to eat. She would eat, if I could get her to eat 1 bowl of the yellow can, Perrine, I think it is, or something like that. And she wouldn't eat beef, which is crazy, because
She was having issues because she was getting older?
As she was getting older, she'd always eat hamburgers all the time. But I figured, she's getting older, things change. So I'd always give her the chicken. And she would eat just about the whole bowl for the most part. But she wasn't eating enough to keep up with where she should be at.
Right.
And the reason why I'm in Cass is because of her. Because I wouldn't put her down.
Because you can't take a dog in Cass.
And they take dogs. And they didn't. The only thing they gave me trouble about there, and it was a lot of trouble, was they wanted me. Yeah, they'll accept dogs as long as what they call it, the welcome center.
Okay.
They're the ones. It's their decision. And then they said, if I got the shots and all that, of course I had everything, all that stuff was fresh. I was able to get it right away, take it down there, so they accepted it right then and there.
Okay.
But hell, what was I saying?
They gave you a little bit of trouble.
Sorry?
They gave you a little bit of trouble at the
right.
welcome.
They wanted, their idea of having the dog there in Cass with you got to have that dog with you everywhere you go. Now, for the most part, I agree with that. I mean, I don't have any issue with that. But that place there, if you go in the bathroom, the men's bathroom, I can't imagine the women's bathroom being like this, but the men's are. Shit, piss. I mean,
Shit and piss everywhere? Oh, God.
on the ground. Somebody has a fascination with it, taking it out of the water, setting it up on the head.
A lot of mental health issues in the area.
I've never been around so many people that had that kind of help, or needed that kind of help.
Yeah.
It was definitely an eye-opener. And so I would go into the bathroom, and my bunk wasn't too far from the bathroom. So, and she's mindful. Of course, at her age, she didn't want to get up and down and run around.
So when you wanted to use the bathroom, you had to bring the dog with you,
Right.
and since you weren't,
And I would.
because she's old and it's
And the
a
bathroom's
hassle
filthy.
and it's disgusting.
The dirtiness of everything.
Yeah. Okay, I see what's happening.
And so I would never do it. Well, they kicked me out half a dozen times for it. And you'd think I would say, okay, but I wouldn't give in.
Right,
because
right.
I just, one of the cast.
It doesn't make sense, right?
Well, one of the cast employees told me, I got a plan. So I thought she was really helping me out. So I said, okay, what's your plan? She said, all you got to do is pick up the dog with one hand, grab your dog with the other hand, and stand there. And she, the way I just did it is exactly what she did.
Oh, okay. And
She demonstrated.
you said your dog was a Nikita mix. How big is this dog?
Kita,
How many pounds?
she's probably about yay high. And of course, she's thinner than what she originally was.
But I mean, still, it's a weight that's gonna. She expects you to
Yeah,
balance.
pick
and
up a
hold
dog
her-
like a loaf of bread.
I don't know what it takes to stand at a urinal, but that sounds a little bit difficult.
Was she
It wasn't
joking?
difficult for her. She enjoyed it. And I'm trying to remember her, Jennifer. I don't think she's there anymore, but she's kind of a hard ass.
I hear that.
And
kick you out
so-
for this stuff, man.
And as far as anything else regarding the dog, there was never an issue. But matter of fact, I think me holding off, not giving in to him from the get-go, they kind of lightened up on me with it. Because I think they realized I'm not giving up. You throw me out a dozen more times, it ain't gonna make me no difference. I'm here because of her, so whatever I gotta do, I'll do. But I'm not gonna walk a dog or a child or another human being through a health issue. That's all that is.
Yeah, and it's gonna be her paws too. That's her feet.
Right.
Yeah, I know, I feel you.
And I got to the point where I would take her in the shower with me every night because, you know, I mean, the place it should be closed. It really should be closed.
Should be close. I've heard
This
so
right
many
here?
bad things.
I didn't walk in there crippled, but I'm gonna walk out of there crippled. And this,
Cass made you worse. Gee, oh my God, sir.
yeah, I mean, and I've been there since I got there the week of Christmas, and within less than 30 days, I started coming up with these
Hives.
bite marks and shit. And
Oh shit! Is it bed bugs?
they're not bed bugs. I know bed bugs well.
Can I-
I've been in
can I
hotel
get an
business.
image
They're
of
not
them?
bed bugs, but what they are, they look like silverfish.
She wants to, if she's allowed.
Can you show me one more time if you want to show me?
yeah.
Like, she wants to take a picture of it for proof because we're trying to hold these people accountable all the time. Sir, that is so.
Now, where it's kind of darkened right here, and these here, they're kind of getting better. The original ones were up here on both of my shoulders, and you see they're much better than what they were.
Oh my God.
100 times better.
All right. I'm gonna recap what just happened real quick. So, because you were in cast and because of the feces situation in the bathroom, they kept kicking you out because you weren't taking your dog, because you were leaving your dog at your bunk. They kept saying you have to take your dog with you, but you didn't want to, obviously,
Everywhere.
through the health issue. And you just showed us all these lesions that you have on your body that you did not have before you arrived at cast.
I didn't ever use a cane,
Oh my God.
and I have talked to people till I was blue in the face, but I'm talking to the wrong people. I'm talking to people that are not interested in the cause. They're more interested in getting me away from them as quick as they can and moving on with whatever.
Yeah.
And you deal with people like that, you're not getting nowhere. And they're not all like that, but for the most part, 65% of them, they all act the same way. I went into, there's an office as you walk into CATS to the left, and it's supposed to be like where your caseworker is located at. You know, I've been there since the week of Christmas. I've never seen a caseworker. I've asked. Oh, we'll let them know. Nothing. I don't know how true this, but supposedly, well, I know they had to vote at the city of Phoenix. The tents are closed. They're starting to throw people out.
Yeah, they have until like June, I think.
Yeah, and what happens at that point if Cass is full, but they still got a couple beds in overflow, so they were shoving people in there. Now, even though they're full, they're still bringing people in the day room, which is like where the microwave is, the TV, and a few tables. They're bringing people in there and throwing them on mats on the floor.
Because they have nowhere else to put them.
Right. And now, back to the bug. It wasn't a bed bug, because like I said, I know them, but it looks what I call a silverfish. And I remember being in the hotel business, that was one of the insects that seemed to be able to get inside all the time. And they have a bunch of legs on the sides, on both sides, and they are like a silver, transparent kind of a bug.
They bite.
Oh, I'm thinking so. And then there's a black gnat, and I know that mother bites, because I let him land on my arm one time, and I wanted to see if he would bite me. And he sure as shit did.
I'm so sorry. Have you seen Circle the City?
I've been in Circle City. Matter of fact, the on-call paramedic is really a good guy. He's helped me out quite a bit. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's the one who got me the cane.
Oh.
And he told me that any other issues in Cass with the dog, health-wise, get him.
Did he say anything about these things on your skin?
Oh, yeah. He knew.
He knew?
Knows. He knows what it is, but from what I understand, these guys, they can't really do a whole lot from what I understand. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but...
Yeah.
I'm sure they've been ignored if they've brought it up.
They run a pretty tight ship, you know, but you could run a tight ship and be fair. You don't have to run a tight ship and be a horse's ass, you know.
True. Okay.
It's not difficult to be nice.
Is there other people with things on their legs?
There was a guy from New York, a big burly guy. He had some on his shoulders like I do.
Yeah.
But he said that what he did was, when you take a shower, you don't use soap. You just use the water, and then because when it dries, that soap dries on it, and it cracks everything because it's dry.
Yeah.
And then he said that it tracks it if the soap is dry on your skin.
The soap that they give you guys is drying out your skin to the point where it's cracking it,
Right.
and then the cracks are attracting the
It cracked
insects.
these. They only give you one sheet, just
And it
one
makes your
sheet.
skin worse.
You can't have a pillow. You can't have nothing else. Just one sheet. And the mat is like a rubber plastic type thing. I don't know how many times I've woke up screaming because of where my scab stuck to the mat. And I've lifted my leg up, or I turned over, or whatever.
It sounds like if any kind of like dermatology issues are just going to be exacerbated even worse.
There's plumbing issues.
Yeah.
They would shut the urinals down on the wall. Well, me being in the hotel business, I would turn them on. But there's a screw off to the side, but the handle's here to pull it. On the side, there's a little screw in there. You get a little screwdriver, a flathead, you push it in there and turn it, you'll see the water start to erode. And then
What do they expect you guys to do when they cut off the urinals?
They just go to the toilet behind it, but it's full. Well, you know why?
Of feces. Right?
Yes.
And why would they do that? Just so they didn't have to clean it, or what do you think?
There's no logical reason.
No fucking logical reason.
None, because the only way those urinals work is if they got water coming through. And the only way you're going to get rid of that urine is you got to have it on.
Water, yeah, it makes no sense.
Right. There's no sense at all. And now when they clean the bathrooms, all they do is take a garden hose. And I mean, they take that garden, and it's a powerful one too. And they think because it's powerful, it cleans. Don't clean. If you got water that has no solution in it, it's not cleaning. You're just
Rinsing.
right, you know.
Apparently.
Unless you spray down something. And finally, some residents, I call him, he just grabbed a mop and a bucket himself and started putting dishwashing detergent in it and started mopping the floor, and you can see the big difference.
Yeah, fucking do something about it.
Yes, soap helps. Who knew?
When you walk in back towards the men's area, now I got a great nose. Can't see good, can't hear good, but I got a nose like a bird dog, and I can smell from the front door. And And I tell people say you're exaggerating. No, I'll tell you what. Let's say I am. Go over there. Make up something. I'm with the Arizona Republic. I need to walk through this place. Whatever it is you can do.
It's a good one.
Because you won't believe it until you see it.
Yeah. No, I believe you. I absolutely believe
Because it
No,
is
I
just-
believe you.
It is
I've heard this from a lot of
pathetic.
people.
It's awful. And I'm a farm boy. I mean, I grew up with pigs and all kinds of stinking ass animals. And I have never been through anything like that.
I can understand that why when somebody rolled up on you and offered to give your dog a chance at somewhere else that you said yes. Because it sounds like that's fucking hell.
Do you mind telling the
I can't
story
tell you, too, how desperate I was to get her
out of there?
right. Because it turned out that she was going to be picked up on Monday. Well, that Sunday before, we got up in the morning, and she got up. I was still asleep. She jumped out of the bed. She sauntered around. And some of the guys there tells me, oh, she does it all the time. She goes around, sees everybody, and jumps back in the bed
Does
and goes
dog
to sleep.
stuff? Yeah.
But they tried to tell me that she was out in the hallway and she took a bunch of shits all the way down the hallway. Well, first things first, a dog can't open that door. It's a door you got to grab onto, turn, and pull it open. She couldn't have got out there. And so they told me, dog's got to go. Oh, no, well, let me back up. No, first, I woke up and I'm thinking, what the hell's Cleo at? So I figured she was out mingling, so I walked out and looked around, nowhere to be found. And I thought, there's no reason why for them to pick her up because she was in her bed. So I go up to the desk, sure as shit, they got her behind the counter. And so they said, are you missing something? Yeah, slightly. And so I was going to walk back there and get her. And they said, you can't come back here. You can't get the dog. And I said, no. And I'm the type that I can get pretty rowdy, especially when it comes to my dog.
Yeah, it's your baby.
And they tell me, you can't have your dog. And I said, you know what? You're right. Why don't you guys take care of her today for me? I got a few things I got to do. I said, shit, it's Sunday. I need a break.
That's fine. That's
And
funny.
I'll tell you, I said to him, when she needs to go outside, she'll give you her paw. And she takes water and food all day. I'll bring it up to you if you want. Oh, that won't be necessary. Oh, well, great. You guys will have some food and water yourself. I just walked right out the damn front door. And when I got out the front door, 911. I called the cops.
What happened?
They come out. They told me to meet them at the Welcome Center. And so I waited for them. They pulled up and they said, so tell us everything. So I go through the whole story with them. And the cop said, they can't keep your dog. Well, I know that, but I'm not going to get in an argument. It's Sunday morning and they're going to pick her up tomorrow. I'm trying to keep it to where they can still pick her up tomorrow. She stay here tonight with me. I'm okay with her leaving because I've got it set up for her to leave. I'm not worried about that. And the cop said, you think you can get a hold of those people today? I think I can. And so I just got on the phone while they were standing there and called her. She said, you bet. We'll be down there in about 10 minutes.
And she came because she had met you before, and
Yeah, that was one of the two ladies that met me the first time.
that was the first.
Actually, I think we have just a lot of different parts of the same story. I was wondering, and I hope you don't mind, can you tell us one more time? You were walking down the street.
Just walking. I think it's coming from here.
Uh-huh.
And they pulled right up next to me. Of course, over there, Jefferson's pretty wide, but it's one way going one direction. And on that side that they pulled up to, which is the north side of the road, so you're going east, and that's the direction, you should be going, so they have a lot of room there. And first car pulled up, little bitty car, and then just out of nowhere, here come the second one, and then I looked back, and she said, oh, it's okay, she's my friend, she works with me. And so they said, is there anything we can do to help you and your dog? Again, at first, I'm thinking, something's up with this. This doesn't sound normal, whatever. She said, I'm legit. Give me a card, had the information on it. And,
She worked with some kind of dog.
Yeah, and it was her. She's the owner, and then this lady here stays at her house with her. And I guess she's got another job that she goes to. So, but to me, they're two outstanding women. I mean, that's all I got to say. But I talk to them every Saturday or Sunday.
And they just straight up offered help, and you said, give my dog a better place?
Yeah. About what can we do for you and your dog to make it better for you? And honestly, it was perfect because while I have her in there, I can't do anything. I can't go get a job. I can't do nothing. I got to have her with me. And now when I leave the building, I have got no problem taking her with me. It's just when I'm inside the building, I just think it's just overkill.
It's you have to be attached to your dog the entire time, and it limits what you're doing. And then you can't leave her anywhere.
In some regards, you know, maybe it's a little puppy, or maybe a dog might not be mindful. You know, I'm okay. But this old girl here, I'm telling you what, like I said, I will have her 13 years come September. And, you know, I was married for 22 years. I'll never get to 22 with my dog. I mean, who knows, I might, but, and I even told my ex-wife, I said, you know, you'd have a hard time hanging around if I had to make a choice if we were still together.
I'm sure she loved that.
Because of the way Cleo has always been with me. She's never been an aggressive dog. She's never barked in anger. I've never had to say anything to her about leaving people alone or stuff like that, because she was always right here.
It's so crazy to me that that happened, that you were just walking and two ladies showed up and said, can we help? And they
and my
took your
dad
dog
said
somewhere
the same
safe?
thing. He said, you don't find people who do shit like that. My dad's a retired cop. And he said, the only thing I want you to make sure you do is you know where she's going.
Do you still have contact?
Sorry?
Are you gonna, is this a situation where they're gonna try to get the dog back to you eventually, or is the
Oh,
dog
she
fostered
is.
out?
She's coming back.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. There's
a
no,
foster situation?
that's the only option. That's
Okay.
her coming back. Because I told them what I need is a job and a place, because the place, I don't have to worry about my dog, because she's gonna lay there, sleep.
That's so great. What is this place called? Do you remember?
Well, I'll find out tonight.
No worries, no worries.
No.
Matter of fact,
You really want to know?
but they, I'm sure they would talk with the girls. I mean, they're awful nice to me, and
We just had a situation where we had to foster two dogs we found in the street, so sounds really nice.
Yeah, there's so many dogs around. It's so nice for these ladies to hold your dog just for a little while.
it made me, once I get on my feet and get my life straight, it's made me want to
Hell
do
yeah.
something along that line of trying to help another dog or a family or whatever, you know.
Would you say that having your dog fostered out right now is helping you get back on your feet then?
Oh,
Yeah, I can see it in your face.
more than,
Yeah.
because I'll find out on Wednesday if I got the job that I've been chasing after last week. And it's right there down the street from Cass. It's a cabinet maker, $25 an hour. If I can't live on $25 an hour, I need my ass kicked.
I don't know.
Things are really expensive right now.
Here, but $25 sounds a good start at the very minimum.
But, you know, what that is, we lived at that, like I said, that's Siegel Suites on 91st Avenue, south of I-10. Cleo and I lived there for 10 years.
At the hotel?
10 years.
After your divorce.
And funniest thing about it was what the rate that I paid on the first day I checked in, which was 2011. I paid that same rate when I had a massive heart attack September 11th of 19, and that was my last day there. I was in a coma for almost 2 months.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and then of course my dad, he'd bring my dog up to me in the morning, throw her in the bed with me.
That's cute.
Leave her all day and come up and get her in the afternoon, take her back home. They did this for damn near 2 months.
That's so sweet.
Mhm.
That's so sweet.
I can't
Oh.
imagine how fucking good it must feel knowing that somebody's taking care of Cleo for you, and then you can get her back.
Yeah, because
That's a
when
big
I
one.
had my heart attack, I just started work the first day. I had it on my first day of work.
Oh no.
And then I was in a coma. I woke up almost 2 months later, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Because I had no idea of anything that had happened. The only thing I realized that when I woke up was because nobody was around me when I first woke up, I would take a deep breath, and oh my God, my ribs and my sternum, because they broke 2 ribs on each side, and they cracked my sternum, just giving me CPI.
I think, yeah, I've heard that happen.
That's
And
common.
they never gave me mouth to mouth, never once.
Really?
And supposedly the Heart Foundation or the Heart Institution, or whatever they are, had started telling people that mouth to mouth is not important.
I've heard that, yeah, that's what I heard. It used to
As
be
long
30.
as the blood is flowing, because it's going through the brain and everything, then you can keep the person from becoming brain dead if they do revive. And luckily I was revived. I think they told me I was, for the most part, gone for 30 or 45 minutes. They finally got me revived.
Wow.
My dad said they stuck those long needles in me, in my chest. Just
Oh yeah, I know the big fucking adrenaline ones.
yeah.
Thanks.
He said they did that probably 2 or 3 times.
Trying to jump
And he said that he remembered when he was a cop that if they do that one time and it don't work, they give up. But that was back.
Well, I'm glad that they had the resources to try a couple more times on you.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I was at a good hospital. I was at the Banner on Thomas, 91st Avenue. They took care of me. I was in a rehabilitation or something where I was out of my coma, or no, I was still in my coma. And then once I came out of the coma, they sent me to a place on Bethany Home and I-10 or I-17.
So you lost your housing because you were sick for a while and had.
Yeah. Well, at that point, my family moved me out of my apartment, put all my stuff in storage, and then I stayed at this rehab house. It's, what it is, a regular residential home ran by a bunch of Romanians. And I'll tell you what, they're the greatest cook in the world.
I bet.
They could cook. And I hated leaving there because, and they let me keep my dog.
The dog is the
They
big
gave me
portion
a
there.
bedroom that had an outside door, and there was a concrete wall all the way around the home. And so I was able to take her outdoors whenever I needed to. Didn't have to worry about nothing. So
You have a phone?
yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if I give you my number, and if you can get in contact with those ladies? It's
Yes,
just
call me anytime, whatever you want to do.
we live right over here, and we find dogs all the time. So if they're an actual organization, I would love to get in contact with them.
Also, what's your name?
Well, what I'll do
We didn't
is,
ask.
I talked to him last night, and I generally, it's about the last thing I do every Sunday night before I go to bed is I send him a text, and then, but I'll mention him to you.
Yeah, please. No, no pressure. What's your name, sir?
First name is Jaret, Jaret. And you want to take my number?
Sure, what's your number?
480.
480.
And I've had this number for 30 years, so.
Jaret, you're still at Cass right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can't talk about any of the things you told us about Cass while you're still there, because it might cause problems for you.
I'll take them head on. They ain't got nothing on me. Not a damn thing.
I mean, we could if we change his
Whatever
voice.
you can do to, I'm not out to make people's lives miserable, but they need to be.
They
woke
need
up.
accountability, right?
Right, because it's just that's just one incident with me.
Yeah.
There's 300 other people there that has.
I've had conversations with people here on the corner that are walking back to Cass that just have had terrible times. I hear nothing good.
A
So
lot of people will stay out until 10 p.m.
because they don't want to come back.
All right.
Oh yeah. So my name, I go by Lefty, and
Okay.
this is my
I'm
partner
Sophia.
Sophia.
What is it?
Sophia?
Okay.
Sophia and Lefty, and you're Jaret.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story and taking the time.
No problem. I mean, you can give anybody the story, my name. I'm probably gonna